was in school for my junior year is when Mr. Basie and the Count Basie Orchestra came to town, and he was already riding on a motorized cart at that time, and he couldn't go downstairs to where the dressing room was, so he was kind of trapped, you know. And I was dating a guy whose band had the gig to open the show, and they asked me if I wanted to sing a couple of tunes. Well, of course I said yeah. So I went backstage and I said, "Hi, Mr. Basie, my name is Carmen Bradford, and I'm opening the show for you tonight, and I just wanted you to know that I just think you'd make millions of dollars if you'd hire me." And he said, "Really, millions?" And I said, "Absolutely." I said, "There's nothing like having a young lady on your show." I said, "I know you already have a male vocalist," and his name was Dennis Rowland. And I said, "But there's nothing like having a young lady on the show." I said, "So will you listen to me when I go out and sing?" He said, "Sure, honey, I'll listen." And he had this big juicy cigar with about this much left on it on the side of his mouth, and he was so sweet. You could tell he was really, really patient with people that were 22 and stupid, you know. So I went out and I did A Foggy Day, and I sang Lost in the Stars, that Kurt Weill tune. And I came off stage and I said, "So what did you think?" He said, "Well, I think I'm gonna hire you." I said, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, when?" I said, "Because I'm in school and I can leave now. I'm happy to go. I can go get my stuff now." He said, "No." He said, "We will, I'll be in contact with you." And I said, "Okay." So months and months went by. Actually, 9 months exactly. And my roommates, because I had moved out of the dorm by that time, and my roommate said, "That old man is never calling you. He ain't calling you. You might as well go on and just finish school." And I said, "No, I'm getting out of here." So I was on my way to Santa Fe, New Mexico to do my gig in this band that I was in, this wonderful band called Minor Miracle. And but the day before that, I had given myself a birthday party. And when I was blowing out my candles, I said, "Oh God, please let Count Basie call me tomorrow." And just kind of forgot about, you know, what I had said. And so when I was getting ready to get in the car to go to Santa Fe, my roommate said, "Carmen, there's some old man on the phone." So I went back in the house because I just assumed it was my grandfather who was still living at the time, and I thought it might be important. So I went back in and I said, "Hello?" And he said, "Is this the little girl that wants to work with me? This is Count Basie." I said, "Is this Otis?" Because I have a cousin named Otis. I said, "Otis, you know how long I've been waiting for Count Basie to call me. Don't play like that." I said, "I'm on my way to do my gig in Santa Fe." I said, "Look, I gotta go," and I hung up the phone. So I went back out to the car, and my roommate said, "It's that old man again on the phone." So I went back in the house and I said, "Hello?" And he said, "I'm gonna call another little girl if you hang up the phone again. Now this is Mr. Basie, don't you hang up this phone." I said, "I am so sorry. I thought you were my cousin, Otis." He said, "This is not Otis. Now do you want to work with me or not?" I said, "Absolutely." I said, "Thank you so much for calling. Now when do I come?" He said, "Well, not yet." I said, "Well, you know, I've been waiting, you know, about 9 months now. It's been so long and everything." He said, "Okay, it won't be much longer." And I said, "Well, how much does it pay?" And he said, "What do you care?" I said, "I really don't. My dad makes me say that." He always makes me ask, you know, if I'm babysitting or something. And he went, "Uh-huh." You know, like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? You know? So, because I don't think he had ever had anybody. You know, everybody was a full-grown woman. Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. Wow. And that really, all of that stuff never really hit me until much later. And I just broke out in a sweat when I thought about that. You know, Helen Humes and, you know, just Frank Sinatra and Joe Williams and Tony Bennett, and just the list goes on. Jimmy Rushing, and that's like, And then there's that little girl from Altadena. There she is. You know, it was really, really something. So the day after that, Wednesday, I got a call from Sonny Cohn, who was the road manager of the Basie band at the time. And he said, well, this is Sonny Cohn, and I'm calling to tell you that we booked your flight for Friday. I said, day after tomorrow? And he said, yes, honey, day after tomorrow. And he said, so you bring all your big band arrangements? I said, I don't have any big band arrangements. I said, you know, I sing R&B. And he said, okay, well, bring all your little beaded gowns. And I said, well, I wear Levi's and cowboy boots on stage. He said, okay, well, just put your rope around your suitcase and meet us in Boston. Oh my God. So I said, okay. And so Friday came, and about 30 of my friends from school met me at the airport. And I got to the counter, the ticket counter, and there was no ticket. And I thought, oh my gosh, somebody's playing just a cruel joke on me, you know. And so all my friends said, girl, we're going to the ATM, you're going to Boston. Now this is clearly a mistake, and we're just gonna buy you a round trip ticket just in case. So they all went to the ATM and got their little money out, but isn't that sweet? And got me a ticket, and I got there and I went to the hotel, and they had a reservation for me at the hotel, so I knew it was real, but the band hadn't checked in yet. And it's so amazing, you know, when you're young like that, and you've seen aspects of stardom, and you know, you go to the concert and you just assume that everybody's leaving in these incredibly large, long limousines, and you know, because you occasionally see them in those. So I was waiting, I was looking out the window. I had this huge room at the Boston Park Plaza. That was the hotel, the fabulous old hotel. So I'm leaning out the window, and I said, well, surely they're all going to be in separate limousines coming down the road. And I'm looking, you know, and this big, funky, stinking, fumes puffing out bus, this old Greyhound came down the road, you know. And I thought, well, surely that's not it. And sure enough, that bus pulled right up to the hotel, and the guys started getting off, and then I saw Mr. Basie get off, and I ran downstairs to the lobby, and I said, hi, I'm here. And he said, yes, you are. He said, well, are you ready to go? And I said, yes. He said, well, we're going to leave about 5:30, and we're going to go and work with Tony Bennett. You know who that is? And I said, yes, of course. He said, well, we have a show with him tonight, and we're going to do 2 nights with him at the Melody Tent. And then we're going to go to New Jersey. We're going to go to Atlantic City, and then we're going to work with Miss Vaughn. Now, are you familiar with Miss Sarah Vaughn? I said, yes. And he said, well, listen, I just want to tell you now, don't bother her now. She doesn't like little girls, so just don't bother her. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, just do what I said. And I said, okay. So I got on the bus at 5:30 with the rest of the band. Basie and I were the last ones to get on the bus, and we stood at the front of the bus, and he said, quiet, everybody. He said, I want you to meet our new little girl. This is our little girl. And nobody, don't even think about it, and did that. And nobody ever bothered me, and they were an interesting group of some of the greatest musicians of all time, but extremely dysfunctional and weren't just, you know, they were my grandfather's age and my great-grandfather's age, and just had lots of ideas about young women, older women, who was a great singer, who wasn't. Mascara. Carmen, you got too much of that stuff on your eyes. Too much of that blue stuff. Oh yeah. Take some of that blue stuff off. That's too much of that. I don't like that. Just comments like that. Music comments, you know, where I'd be singing everywhere all through the arrangement, just hollering, you know. And Freddie Green, the guitarist with the band, would say, listen, this is not R&B. This is not an R&B show. This is not a Aretha Franklin show. These arrangements, when I finally did get, it took about 3 weeks for me to get my first arrangements written. And I just kind of sang everywhere. And he said, these arrangements are written for you because they have already listened to what you sound like. And so you sing where that space is in there. Everything is written right where the lyric is supposed to fall. And all those horn shouts that you hear, don't try to scream with them. You got your own place to holler right there. And we would go through the arrangement because I'd record the rehearsal. Go through with the rehearsal and he'd say, right there. And he'd be listening with me. Okay, right there. That's where you need to stretch that out. And it was just a real education, you know. But from the time I started, you know, at 22 years old, all of my arrangements have been written for me. Everything by Frank Foster or Thad Jones or Eric Dixon or Chico O'Farrell and John Clayton. And so it's really been quite a little life. Kind of a roller coaster, you know, but it just makes you hold on and wipe your hands off and hold on again. You know what I mean? And keep riding. But it's been interesting. But anyway, that's how I got started with the Basie Band. Yeah.
This will be my shining hour, calm and happy and bright. In my dreams, your face will flower through the darkness of the night, like the light of home before me, or an angel watching over me. This will be my shining hour till I'm with you again. This will be my shining hour, calm and happy and bright. In my dreams, your face will flower through the darkness of the night, like the light of home before me, or an angel watching on me. This will be my shining hour till I'm with you again. Terrell Stafford, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir.